back to another video of LeetCode Daily Challenge Streak series, and in today's video we have a new question that says rearrange array elements by sign. So you'll be given an array with positive and negative elements, and you're supposed to arrange these elements such that the positive numbers and negative numbers occur alternatively. Okay, so if you have something like 1, 2, 3, 4 and -1, -2, -3 and -4, you're supposed to rearrange this such that it will occur as, now first is the positive integer, so it is 1 first. So it's 1 first, and then you should get a negative integer with opposite sign -1, and then 2, and then -2, and so on and so forth. Now, you also have two additional conditions given. Remember that all the integers with the same sign, the order in which they are present in norms is preserved. It means if the original array is 1, 2, 3, 4, so in this particular array, the occurrences in their alternate positions should be in order as well. So you have 1 here, and then you have 2, and then you'll have 3 and 4. Now you shouldn't be writing it as 3 first or 4 here, and so on. Okay, so you should be arranging these elements in the order that is given itself. Now, what is the third condition? The rearranged array begins with a positive integer. Now, since they said it can have opposite signs, you might want to consider writing it -1, -2, sorry, -1, 1, -2, 2 in this way. But since the array is supposed to start with positive integer, it's supposed to look this way. Okay, now what can we do to solve this problem? Now, if we make two portions of positive and negative elements from the given array and then take a new array, for example, if I have this particular example, let me just copy paste it here. I have this. Now let's say I create a positive array and then a negative array, and then whenever I come across a positive element, I will drop it in this positive array, and when I come across the negative element, I will drop it in the negative this thing. And after finishing the whole thing, I will have a new array named answer, such that I will first go to the positive array, append the element, then go to the negative array, append the element in the answer, and then I'll keep doing it alternatively. For example, I have 3 first. 3 is a positive element, so I'll append it here. Now next 1 is also a positive element, so I'll append it here. -2 is a negative element, so I'll append it here. -5 is also a negative element. Next 2 is a positive element, so I'll append it in this. -4 is a negative element. Now what I'll do, given that they want it in opposite signs, first I will go to positive element, append my 3, and then go to negative, then append -2, then go back to positive, append 1, then go back to negative, -5, then go back to positive, 2, and then go back to negative, which is -4, and I will return this answer. Now what will be the time complexity of this thing? Since we are iterating over this array once for now, to store the positive and negative elements, it is O of n here, and again we are iterating through these elements to fill the answer array. Okay, so the time complexity for this one would be O of n plus n, which is O of n, and the space complexity for this one would be, since we are using 3 different arrays, okay, and the answer value and the answer array has a size of n, the space complexity that we are using is also O of n. Now, can we optimize the space complexity here? Okay, can we optimize it? Can we solve this problem without having to use 2 separate arrays for positive and negative, such that as we go through this array, okay, so this algorithm is called as one pass array. So one pass algorithm. So in this algorithm, you shouldn't be iterating over the input more than once. You should be finishing the iteration in one go. So can you do it such that you don't have to iterate it for the second time to fill in the answer elements? Let's see. Now, what I'll do, let's say this is my nums array and this is my answer array. Okay, this is my answer array. Now what I'll do, given that according to the question, my first element in here should be positive, what I will do, I will initialize my positive index first to 0. Okay, my positive index first to 0 and negative index to 1, such that, so my positive index is currently representing this value and the negative is the second value. Now what will happen? Now currently I will start iterating this nums array. Now I have 3 first. Now 3 3 is positive or negative? It is positive. Okay, so wherever my pointer is currently at, which is at positive, I will append it there. So I got my positive value. Now if you got your positive value, where should be the positive pointer shifted to? Will it be shifted to the next value? No, because next should be a negative value that must be appended, correct? So what you'll do, the minute, okay, the minute you append a positive value inside this, you will increment this counter. Okay, you will increment your counter by 2. Okay, you will increment your index value by 2 such that now positive pointer is here. Okay, you got your first positive value, next you are waiting for a negative value. Once you get your negative value, again you will increment it by 2 indices, and then you will be finding for a positive element. Now what we'll do, now next, what did we find here? 1 is a positive element. Where should the next positive element be placed? It should be placed in alternate to this particular value, which is at this position, correct? So now what happens, my 1 will be placed here, and my positive value will again be incremented by 2 again. So this will be my fourth value, and then I am incrementing my positive value. So here I will again get a negative value, and then if I find a new positive value, it will be appended here. Now next, minus 2. Where should my first minus 2 come? It should start with index 1. Like the positive value started with index 0, my negative value here should start with index 2. So what will I do? I will append my negative value, the place at which this negative value is present. In this index, I will be appending. So it is minus 2. Next, what will happen after appending, after getting my negative value? I will be incrementing my negative index by 2 again. Okay, now I am shifting it to the second position. So from here it came here. So my current negative value is here and my positive is here. Now I finished 3, 1 and minus 2. Next, minus 5. Now minus 5 is the next value. So where is my next index present? It is currently at this position. So I will replace this value by minus 5, and again I will shift by negation to next 2 places. Okay, so it will come here. Next, 2 is positive. Now where is the positive index? Where is the positive index pointer? It is here. So 2 will be appended here. Now what will happen? The positive will again move 2 places forward. Okay, next, minus 4. Now minus 4 is again a negative element. So since my negative index is pointing to this particular place, my minus 4 will be replaced here, and my negative will move out because I finished all my elements. Okay, I finished all my elements. There is nothing else to fill. So my array here is complete, and I will be returning this particular array. Okay, I will be returning this particular array. Now what is the time complexity of this thing? The time complexity of this thing, since we are only iterating over this particular array for once. Okay, we are iterating over this array for once. So the time complexity would be O of n. Okay, O of n. Now what is the space complexity of this thing? Except for this answer array that we are taking. Okay, except for this particular array that we are taking to store the elements and to return it, we are not using anything else. So that can be considered as O of 1. But if the interviewer in the interview says that, okay, this answer array should be considered as extra space, then it would be O of n. Otherwise, this answer is not, this array is not considered, since we are only returning the answer in this. So the space complexity would be O of 1. Let's quickly code this up, guys. What are you doing first? We need the length of this nums array. So n is equals to len of nums. Now, where are we first placing our positive index? We placed it at 0. Okay, when we are creating a new array, let me create a new array. So answer is an empty new array, and the positive is placed at 0th index and the negative is placed at first index. Okay, now what I am doing, I am iterating over this nums and seeing if the element is positive or negative. If the element is positive, then I will be appending at the positive index of this answer. If the element is negative, then I will be appending in the answer of this negative thing. Okay, and then I will move my positive and negative values respectively by 2 places. Okay, so for I in range n, I'm checking for my value which is positive or negative. So if nums of I, okay, if nums of I is less than 0, that means the element is, okay, negative. The element that I encountered is negative. Now what am I doing? At what index am I placing it? So So answer of negative, okay, at this particular negative index. So for I in range n, what if I encounter a positive value? So if nums of I is greater than 0, okay, if nums of I is greater than 0, what am I doing at position, okay, at positive index of this thing? I showed you earlier that if this was my array, my positive index is here first and negative here. So at positive index of this answer array, I am appending the nums I value. So ans of positive is equals to nums of I. After appending, what I'm doing, I'm incrementing my positive value by two places. Okay, I'm moving it by two places. So positive plus is equals to 2. Likewise, what I'm doing, if it means that I didn't find positive value, I got my negative value. If I found my negative value, then what does it mean? It means that answer of negative value should be updated, and then it should also be incremented by two places. Okay, now in the end, what are we doing? In the end, we are just returning our answer array. Okay, we are returning our answer array. Now let me make something for you. So element is positive, so appending in answer of positive index. Okay, likewise, if it's negative, then what are we doing here? We are element is negative, so appending in answer of negative index. Okay, for your understanding, I am writing what we are doing here. In the end, we are just returning our answer. Okay, now what should I do? I should also check that this positive index is less than n. Okay, this positive index should be less than n while I'm incrementing this 2. So while adding this condition, I should check if positive index is less than n, and okay, I should check that my index value is within n. Likewise here. Otherwise, what if we are checking? Now we should check if negative is less than n, okay, is less than n, and nums of I is less than 0. Okay, in that case, we'll be replacing. Now, one more thing to check for is that this answer array can't be empty because we are directly here placing it. So if I am writing 1 here first, then I might leave this position here and append my next positive value. So I can't leave this empty here unless I have it initialized it to none. So what I will do, I will initialize this value to none first, and have n values of none. Okay, I will have n values of none and then replace it by the positive and negative element. Now let's quickly run the code. It's accepted. Let's just submit it. Alright, this works. Thank you guys.